CompTIA CloudNetX, also known by the exam code CNX001, is an advanced certification for professionals who want to prove they can design, secure, monitor, and troubleshoot modern hybrid cloud networks. This episode is part of the Monday Certified feature from Bare Metal Cyber Magazine, where we look at cybersecurity, technology, cloud, governance, audit, and privacy certifications in plain English. CloudNetX is not a beginner cloud exam, and it is not just a general networking exam with a cloud label attached. It is aimed at people who already understand networking, security, and cloud fundamentals, and are ready to think more like architects. For early career professionals, this may not be the first certification to pursue, but it is useful to understand because it shows where the cloud networking path can lead. If this certification is on your study list, a free and complete audio course is available in the Bare Metal Cyber Academy at baremetalcyber.com, complete with a study guide and a second ebook featuring 1,000 flashcard questions. The credential is issued by CompTIA, one of the best-known vendor-neutral certification organizations in the technology industry. Vendor-neutral matters here because hybrid cloud networking rarely lives inside one clean product family. A real organization may have traditional data centers, public cloud environments, remote users, third-party connections, software-defined networking, identity controls, monitoring platforms, and security tools all interacting at once. CloudNetX tries to validate the kind of thinking needed to design and support that mixed environment. The exam focuses on secure, scalable networking solutions across hybrid environments, which means the candidate has to connect technical networking knowledge with security, operations, and business requirements. This is an advanced certification, not an entry-level credential. CompTIA recommends broad information technology experience, network architecture experience, exposure to hybrid cloud environments, and a foundation similar to Network Plus, Security Plus, and Cloud Plus. That recommendation is important because the exam assumes the candidate already understands core building blocks. It is not trying to teach someone what routing, DNS, firewalls, load balancing, identity controls, or cloud connectivity are for the first time. Instead, it asks whether the candidate can use those concepts together to make sound design decisions. The most natural audience includes network architects, cloud network engineers, security architects, enterprise architects, senior network administrators, and experienced infrastructure professionals who are moving deeper into hybrid cloud design. It can also fit professionals who sit between network engineering and cloud security, especially in organizations where traditional infrastructure and cloud platforms overlap. If your job involves connecting business locations to cloud services, securing traffic between environments, monitoring performance, troubleshooting access issues, or designing resilient network paths, this certification is closer to your world than a basic cloud awareness exam. For someone earlier in the career path, CloudNetX can still be valuable as a roadmap. Network Plus teaches the language of networks. Security Plus introduces the security mindset. Cloud Plus builds cloud operations awareness. CloudNetX shows how those ideas come together at a higher level. It points toward the work of designing secure hybrid networks, choosing the right connectivity patterns, balancing cost and resilience, and understanding how changes in one part of an environment can affect the whole system. CompTIA certifications often carry weight because they focus on job tasks and transferable knowledge rather than only one vendor platform. That does not mean vendor-specific skills are unimportant. In fact, advanced cloud networking roles often require platform depth in Microsoft Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Cisco, or other ecosystems. But a vendor-neutral certification can help show that the candidate understands the underlying architecture problems. The question is not only which button to click. The bigger question is why a design works, where it can fail, and how it should be secured and monitored. CloudNetX fits into the broader CompTIA ecosystem as a more advanced credential. It builds naturally on earlier certifications, but moves beyond foundational knowledge. The focus is not simply whether you know what a virtual private network, firewall rule, load balancer, or identity control does. The focus is whether you can apply those tools in a design that supports availability, security, performance, compliance needs, and operational stability. That is a more demanding kind of exam because it rewards judgment, not just recognition. The current exam is organized around 4 broad areas. The first is network architecture design. The second is network security. The third is network operations, monitoring, and performance. The fourth is network troubleshooting. Those categories reflect what cloud network architects actually do. They design how traffic moves. They help decide how users and systems connect. They plan for resilience and failure. They apply security controls. They monitor whether the environment is healthy. And when something breaks, they need to reason through where the problem might be. The architecture design area is especially important. It includes topics such as Internet protocol addressing, routing, network address translation, network protocols, topologies, hybrid connectivity, availability, redundancy, load balancing, auto-scaling, and cloud connectivity patterns. A strong candidate needs to understand why one design may be better than another in a specific situation. For example, a design that works well for a small environment may not scale cleanly for a large enterprise. A low-cost connection may not be resilient enough for a mission-critical system. A highly available architecture may improve reliability but also increase cost and complexity. The exam lives in those trade-offs. The security domain is also central. It includes threats and mitigations, firewall and access control design, encryption, network access control, zero trust, microsegmentation, secure access service edge, cloud access security broker concepts, identity and access management, multi-factor authentication, privileged access management, and wireless security. That makes this more than a networking exam. It expects candidates to understand how security controls shape traffic, access, trust, visibility, and risk across hybrid environments. The exam also tests monitoring and operations. In a hybrid cloud environment, it is not enough to build a network and hope it works. You need logs, metrics, alerts, availability checks, performance visibility, and enough operational context to notice when something is wrong. Monitoring is not just about collecting data. It is about understanding which signals matter, which alerts require action, and how to avoid drowning teams in noise. A good architect thinks about operations before the design goes live.
Troubleshooting is another major part of the certification. Hybrid networks can fail in many ways. A DNS problem may look like an application outage. A routing problem may look like a firewall issue. A VPN configuration problem may break connectivity between environments. Latency, packet loss, load balancing behavior, identity errors, cloud interconnectivity problems, and policy conflicts can all create confusing symptoms. The exam rewards candidates who can reason from symptoms to likely causes rather than guessing randomly.
One common misconception is that CloudNetX is simply Cloud Plus but harder. That is not the best way to think about it. Cloud Plus is broader and more focused on cloud operations and administration. CloudNetX is more specialized around hybrid cloud networking, secure architecture, monitoring, and advanced troubleshooting. Another misconception is that the exam is only for people who configure devices all day. Hands-on configuration knowledge helps, but the deeper emphasis is on selecting, securing, validating, and troubleshooting designs. The current CNX 001 exam has a maximum of 90 questions and allows up to 165 minutes. The question mix includes multiple choice and performance-based questions. The result is pass or fail rather than a traditional scaled score. That format means preparation should focus less on chasing a visible score target and more on building confidence across the exam domains. You want to be comfortable with scenarios, design reasoning, and practical troubleshooting, not just vocabulary. Preparation should start with an honest skills check. If routing, subnetting, DNS, VPN concepts, firewalls, load balancing, identity, and basic cloud networking still feel shaky, Fix those gaps before making CloudNetX your main study target. Advanced exams punish weak foundations because every scenario becomes harder when the basics are uncertain. A candidate who understands the fundamentals can spend more energy on design judgment. A candidate who is still struggling with the basics may feel overwhelmed before reaching the real architecture question. A practical study path should move in phases. Start by reviewing the exam domains and turning them into a checklist. Then refresh core networking topics such as routing, subnetting, network address translation, DNS, VPN connectivity, and load balancing. After that, study hybrid cloud connectivity patterns and how traffic moves between on-premises environments and public cloud platforms. Then build security depth around zero trust, segmentation, identity, access control, encryption, and privileged access. Finally, spend serious time with monitoring and troubleshooting scenarios, because those are where applied understanding becomes visible. Hands-on practice is extremely helpful. You do not need a massive enterprise lab, but you should understand what these designs look like in practice. Review cloud network diagrams. Build small test environments when possible. Compare peering, private connectivity, and VPN options. Look at routing tables. Study security group behavior. Read logs. Trace how traffic moves. Practice explaining why a design is resilient, where it is vulnerable, and what you would monitor after deployment. The more you connect a concept to real behavior, the easier it becomes to answer scenario questions. Time management matters on exam day. 165 minutes sounds generous, but performance-based questions can consume more time than expected. Move steadily through straightforward items. Mark uncertain questions for review. Avoid spending too long on a single scenario early in the exam. For performance-based tasks, read carefully before acting. Many exam mistakes happen when a candidate solves the wrong problem quickly instead of the right problem carefully. The Bare Metal Cyber Academy can fit into this preparation plan as a flexible study support. The free audio course can help build familiarity during commutes, workouts, or review sessions when reading is not convenient. The study guide can provide the structured path and deeper explanations needed for focused study. The flashcards ebook can support repeated review of terms, concepts, and distinctions that need to become automatic before exam day. Used together, these resources can help busy professionals study in a more organized way without turning preparation into a guessing game. The biggest mistake is treating this certification as a memorization project. Memorization has a role, especially for terminology, tools, and domain structure, but it is not enough. The better question is always, what problem is this design trying to solve? The next question is, what trade-off does this choice introduce? A highly available design may cost more. A strict segmentation model may improve security, but make operations harder. A monitoring strategy may improve visibility, but create alert fatigue. A hybrid connection may solve one routing issue while introducing another. CloudNetX is built around that kind of thinking. In career terms, this credential supports roles that involve designing, securing, and operating complex hybrid network environments. It is most relevant for network architects, cloud network engineers, senior infrastructure engineers, security architects, and enterprise architects. It can also support people working on cloud migration, data center modernization, zero trust projects, network segmentation, cloud access design, or connectivity between corporate environments and public cloud platforms. Hiring managers are likely to view CloudNetX as a signal of advanced, specialized capability. It suggests that a candidate is thinking beyond entry-level support and routine administration. It points to design trade-offs, security architecture, performance monitoring, automation concepts, and advanced troubleshooting. Like any certification, it is strongest when paired with real experience, project examples, and the ability to explain decisions clearly. CloudNetX is not the ideal next step for everyone.
Someone pursuing an entry-level cybersecurity role may be better served first by Security Plus, Network Plus, or a security operations-focused credential. Someone focused on governance, audit, or risk may get more value from certifications such as CISA, CISM, CRISC, or other GRC-focused paths. Someone focused on cloud administration may want Cloud Plus or a vendor-specific associate-level cloud certification before moving into advanced hybrid network design.
The best fit is the professional who wants to become credible in the space where cloud, network architecture, and security overlap. That space keeps growing because organizations are rarely just on-premises or just cloud. They are hybrid, distributed, identity-driven, and dependent on secure connectivity. CloudNetX helps validate the type of thinking needed in that environment. It is a strong target for experienced professionals and a useful roadmap for early career learners who want to see where cloud networking skills can eventually lead.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.